Welcome back to Wake Up America. Outrage is erupting amongst conservatives following Tucker Carlson's controversial interview with influencer Nick Fuentes.
Now, Fuentes made a series of anti-Semitic remarks in the past, and then Heritage Foundation President Kevin Roberts came under fire for his initial response.
The venomous coalition attacking him are sowing division. Their attempt to cancel him will fail. Most importantly, the American people expect us to be focusing on our political adversaries on the left, not attacking our friends on the right. I disagree with, and even abhor, things that Nick Fuentes says. But canceling him is not the answer either. When we disagree with a person's thoughts and opinions, we challenge those ideas in debate.
So this after intense criticism, Roberts did post on X saying that he condemned the views expressed by Fuentes. But by then, our next guest, Mark Goldfeder, had quit his job as leader of the Heritage Foundation's Antisemitism Task Force. Also joining us to help make sense of this is City University of New York professor of law and founder of Safe Campus, Jeffrey Lax. So, Mark, your thoughts on what happened and why you stepped down from your role at Heritage?
Sure. Good morning. Thank you for having me. I would say there's been a lot of conflation. What Roberts did was he conflated criticism of Israel with outright anti-Semitism to create a very weak straw man argument. Then he conflated canceling someone with not giving an uncritical platform to a Nazi. And then he conflated Tucker and Fuentes. The problem was never whether or not Roberts knew Fuentes is a Nazi. We all know that Fuentes is a Nazi. He told us he's a Nazi. The problem is that he supported Tucker fangirling over a Nazi and giving that uncritical platform. So for someone who, despises the tactics of the left, he's really buying into them.
Jeffrey, this all started as Tucker Carlson claims he's not anti-Semitic, just anti-Israel. Take a listen of some of what Tucker has said.
Ted Cruz is planning to run for president for the Republican nomination.
What's Lindsey Graham's excuse? What's Ted Cruz's excuse?
In June, for example, during the 12-day war, such as it was with Iran, during that short conflict, there are a bunch of Israeli Defense Force officers in the Pentagon that week. And during that week, ask anyone who works at the Pentagon, they enraged American Pentagon staff by just barging into meetings, giving orders, making demands.
I think Bibi is completely evil and completely destructive. And he's hurting the United States and he's destroying his own country.
Jeffrey, what's your reaction to hearing Carlson's attacks against Ted Cruz and other senators?
Oh, it's so vile, and it just taps into the same historic and really thousands of year old anti-Semitic tropes that Jews control the world. Tucker has gone on record to say that Netanyahu controls the American government. He's even gone on to say, as Mr. Ruddy, the CEO of Newsmax, said this weekend at the Republican Jewish Convention, that there were actually Israeli spies controlling what was going on in the Pentagon, going room to room and telling them what to do, as if that could ever possibly happen. With no evidence, Tucker cites this disgusting tropes. And I have to say, for Chris Ruddy to go on stage as the head of a conservative, prominent network and expose that, it takes a lot of courage. And I'm very grateful for that, because all these tropes are disgusting. All they do is feed into the Nick Fuentes supporters and that neo-Nazi stuff that we're talking about. And all it does is push hate and divisiveness. Also, I want to point out, in a Republican Party that really should be taking control now that the Democrats are falling apart.
Yeah, and you heard in that soundbite, also we showed you some of the president's Truth Social posts that are attacking this and condemning what Tucker Carlson has said. You heard Tucker taking shots at Senator Ted Cruz. Well, here's Senator Ted Cruz firing back.
But unfortunately, it's not limited to the left. And everyone here knows we're seeing more and more anti-Semitism rising on the right. In the last 6 months, I've seen more anti-Semitism on the right than I have in my entire life. This is a poison, and I believe we are facing an existential crisis in our party and in our country.
Yeah, Mark, I mean, obviously, prior to leaving your role at Heritage, you have championed combating anti-Semitism. What is your reaction to what Senator Ted Cruz had to say?
He's absolutely right. Unfortunately, we have seen anti-Semitism on the right go from the far fringes, from the Kanyes and the Candaces, all the way now into Tucker and Heritage. We need to draw a red line here before it is too late. Just a few years ago, when President Trump accidentally had dinner with Nick Fuentes, he came out and said, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I never would have done that had I known he was a Nazi." And look how far we've come in only a matter of a couple of years. Thank God we do have responsible leaders like Ted Cruz, like President Trump, who are not going to allow this to take over the Republican Party.
And Jeffrey, Mike Huckabee is also condemning Carlson's interview, posting on X, quote, "Giving a platform to and getting advice about Christianity from Fuentes is like asking Hannibal Lecter for recipes. Watching the cringe-worthy Duba was watching Springtime for Hitler from producers, but played for serious dialogue instead of for comedy. Perverse." What do you make of this strong response?
Yeah, well, obviously that's a morally clear-eyed response. And my colleague and my friend Mark Goldfeder also, I mean, I can't even imagine how painful it must have been for Rabbi Goldfeder to actually step away from an organization that he's been very close with and has believed in for many years. And, to be backstabbed like this, I just want to add that what the Heritage Foundation is doing is so despicable, because nobody from our side of this is saying you can't criticize Israel or can't have a debate about it. But I want to just jump on what Rabbi Goldfeder said, which is that this wasn't a debate. Tucker didn't challenge Fuentes when Fuentes was on his show. Tucker was nodding along and smiling and asking him gentle questions. Yeah. And Fuentes is going on talking about Sheldon Adelson pumping money into the Israel lobby. Sheldon Adelson has been dead for 5 years. Yep. And Tucker not once. He seems to care a lot about Ted Cruz not knowing the populations of foreign states, but not one time did he say to Nick Fuentes, "Hey, by the way, did you know that Sheldon Adelson had died 5 years ago?" Not once.
Jeff, I think we're going to let it go there, but I want to thank you. We're not done talking about this, I am sure. Mark, Jeff, great to see you guys this morning. Thanks for watching us. We'll be right back.